And we want to thank you for staying with us. Women in Need, also known as WIN, provides safe housing, critical services, and innovative programs to New York City homeless men and their children for 35 plus years. And here now to tell us a little bit more about the organization is Vice President of Policy and Planning at WIN, Jessica Yager. And Jessica, good to have you.
Thanks so much for having me.
Good. And when we talk about the homelessness crisis, obviously it's a big crisis that a lot of us are continuing to scratch our heads about, saying, is it getting any better, any worse? But obviously for you with boots on the ground, a lot more challenging these days.
Yeah, I mean, we have we're close to record number of people in homeless shelters every night. And at WIN, we work with families. So families with children specifically. And we run 10 family homeless shelters throughout the city and do what we can to make sure that the clients that we're serving have what they need while they're in shelter and that they're prepared to succeed when they leave shelter.
And so for those who aren't so familiar with some of the services that you actually provide, let's go through a few of them.
Sure, of course. So, we're working with families every day, and we need to make sure that they are getting what they need so that they can succeed. So we have a robust income building program, for example, that works one-on-one with the parents in our shelters to connect them to jobs, to connect them to job training. We bring employers in to meet our families to help people get jobs that they can hopefully sustain over time. And if people already are working, we try to help them, go up that ladder, get the next step and the next step on the ladder. We also have childcare services and recreation services to make sure that the kids that are in our shelters are, have somewhere to go, when their parent is at work or at school, that they have somewhere to go when they come home from school. We provide childcare and also after school and camp for the kids in our shelters. So that also that they have a fun thing to be doing during their time off. And then, we also are helping families every day look for housing. So we have dedicated staff who work to help clients navigate the very difficult process of finding an affordable apartment in New York City. So, we're really thinking about what do our families need while they're in shelter to succeed, and then what do they need when they leave to be prepared to live on their own and, hopefully never come back.
Yeah. High prices of rent, of course, in New York City, big challenge in getting people situated in the housing. What's it been like for you in terms of that transition, getting people, you want to provide the service, but the end goal is to get them out, right? So how hard has it been? How difficult has it been for you in getting that transition going?
Yeah. I mean, so the largest challenge that our families face is the affordable housing crisis in New York City, which is, really the other side of the homelessness crisis. The gap between what incomes are and what affordable rents are is just really, really large. Most of our clients are, we actually have a substantial number of clients who are working, but, even with working, the average income is below the poverty line. Which means, for that family that's making at the poverty line, rent is affordable if it's $500 a month or less. The typical unit in New York City for a 2-bedroom is over $3,000 a month. So there's a large gap between what our families can afford to pay and where the rents are. So in addition to all the work we do with our clients, we also do advocacy work and policy work to try to push the city, encourage the city to adopt affordable housing policies that will really help meet this need.
We hear this word, rental voucher, right?
Yeah.
So for somebody who doesn't know what rental voucher is, talk to us about that. And what is actually the value of it?
Sure. Rental vouchers are a critically important tool for our clients. So what a rental voucher is a voucher that a family gets that helps them make up that gap. A family pays 30% of their income towards rent. That's what's considered to be affordable, and a rental voucher will then pay the rest between whatever they can pay and what the real rent is. So, there's a federal rental voucher, but the Section 8 program, which a lot of people have heard of, unfortunately, that's a very scarce resource. So New York City created its own voucher program, which is a terrific resource for families that are in shelter. The problem that we see with that is that the rents that voucher is set at are just far below what the market rents are in New York City. We've done a bunch of research on this. There are no neighborhoods in the city where the median asking rent for a 2-bedroom is what the voucher pays for that 2-bedroom, nowhere in the city. So what we're advocating for right now is for that voucher amount to be raised, that the maximum rent that you can rent using that voucher be linked to a reasonable assessment of what market rents are in the city so that people can actually use it.
And we know that's a big fight right now.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, In the city, there's a lot of fights to go on. Trust me, trust me, trust me. I want to get to this point about really helping families, right? You guys have had a great impact in terms of changing lives also, right? And then on the community, I want you to speak to that.
Sure. I mean, we run, 10 family shelters throughout the city in 4 boroughs, and we also provide permanent supportive housing. So we have over 335 units of permanent supportive housing for families that used to be homeless. So we really try to make sure that in all of our facilities, we're really providing the wraparound services that families need so that they can be successful.
I always ask people when they come and sit next to me about the challenges. What are the biggest challenges that you find yourself facing during these times?
I mean, I think we touched on it. The affordable housing crisis, the lack of affordable housing in New York City is a major challenge. There's not just one, but
Right.
I think that is a really major one. It's really hard for families to find affordable, stable housing. And we see that families, homelessness, unfortunately for far too many people, isn't a one-time thing because they cycle through housing. They find housing and then the rent goes up and they get evicted or they're staying with family. There's this housing instability that people cycle through, which is really about the economy and about the housing market. And so that is a major challenge.
Yeah, Jessica, well, thank you for the great work that you guys
Thank
do.
you.
Gonna get people connected, all right? Thanks much. Now listen, if you want more information about WIN, you can visit their website at winnyc.org or on social media at winnyc_org. Now, if you want more information, there you got it. All right, we're gonna be back. We've got more when we sit down and return. We're gonna sit down with a health coach discussing plant-based nutrition. Now, don't go anywhere. We're gonna get all plant-based when we return right after this.